So a little more action going on the mid game. As you can see, Representative Isa and Camo's 8 elims right now. Super impressive. And there you go. Finally now into that last hour. Third time was the charm. 56 minutes remaining. And again, if you are just joining us and it's one of your first weekends watching, it is 3 hours or 10 matches. The semifinals were played yesterday and the qualifying spots are in the top right. We have already seen the BES duo advance out of Oceania and the Trigger QQ duo from Vietnam take home the spot out of Asia. Which 4 will join them in Europe? And who do you got your eyes on, Shai?
For me, at the moment, I think that Shaw is just playing amazingly right now. I also think that there's going to be a lot of chances for Camo and Issa to pop off as well. They've been up and down in the leaderboards at the moment, but as we can see over here, these high elim games, if you get 1 or 2 pop-offs, you're right back into the running. There is only an hour left, but everyone's already experienced in playing their 10 games, knowing that, hey, if we're behind 2 or 3 games, we can play a little bit aggro here and then catch up with those big placement types of games later on. So hopefully these guys and their game plans work out. We'll see what's up right now. A little bit of a sneaky game coming in, a 4-gun loadout, which we don't see too much from Issa, with combats, ARs, drum guns, a very AR-heavy medium ammo loadout. Low people as well on mid at the moment. A lot of calmness. When there's not too many people in the server, you have these stalemate moments where a lot of people get to have a lot of information. Now this is good for 2 reasons. One, the people who are boxing up know a lot of things about one another, but the bad part about it is that if everyone has information on everyone, there's so many more sightlines that get abused and used for eliminations left and right around the whole map.
Yeah, it's much harder to manufacture eliminations in this circumstance because everyone is used to playing. And it's kind of nuts that we've gotten to the point in Fortnite where 39 people in a 5th circle is like, oh yeah, you know, that's not that dense. You know, it's fine. You got some room to move around and work with. But like, normally the reason people say play for late is because when you get so chaotic, if you are deliberate and you're able to get your rotation down, you will get opportunities to pick off other players. And you can see there just how aggressive these guys have been. 1,102 damage above the Storm Surge threshold. Again, that will turn off once we get down to below 30 players. As you see the launch pad come out, no bonks there. Thought about challenging. Gonna go far side of the zone and box up and turn.
Camo now missing his partner, actually. They finally get together once again. He's going to be boxing up, waiting for any elims to happen. These guys have 8 elims together in total. Heavy Snipe coming into onto the box as well in front of him. No follow-up, though, as it's not possible. These guys are on split layers, although that's very good for sightlines and different vantage points. Sometimes the synchronization can get desynchronized when you're not together with your duo partner.
Stay with your buddy. Particularly, it's week 10. Come on. Like, how many times, like, unless your name is Mongrel, like, trying to just 1v2 the rest of the lobby generally hasn't worked out for a lot of players. And right now, Issa and Camo recognizing that, getting back together, still on 8 elims, and now they're going to try and kind of level out the loadout.
Toen is er welke ding dat dit is.
Still running the double AR, but I'm trash, living up to his name there as Issa just blasts him with the combat shotgun. Can't poke there, can't challenge against one of the best players out of Europe. Gets the conversion over and we're closing in on that top.
Wauw, Isa is van Europa.
Very, very smooth build over there.
Van Amerika was.
But no, these guys are split now. Isa going on for a one.
Nice.
Camo getting a nice low tier or low ground lockdown on his enemy. Max going down on 60 hertz. You gotta up those hertz, but you gotta see these people coming. Camo moving around. Isa popping off on his lair as well. These guys are owning the whole server, making sure everything's getting shredded down.
Damn, Isa heeft 10 kills.
The finish is coming out. These guys have collectively done so much damage. Drop offs.
12.
It's chaos. Mods going down. What's happening over here, Sunday?
15 elims now. He just ran up to 15 elims, and notice how he's constantly checking his side.
13.
Zaito goes down as well. Who says you need a teammate?
Come on, Isa.
Mongrel, who? My name is Ghost Isa, and I'm here to make a play. Camo's in a box. What's
nice.
The box? It's the Ghost duo. They want to make it to New York City. They want to go together. One isn't enough as we're closing
17 kills.
38 points so far. 17 elims. They're already on 22 points just from this match, but they will not stop yet. There's still chaos going on. Pushes forward. Jexy goes down. Trap gets on
90 kills.
Right next to him, and they're into the top 10. Issa picks up another one on the high ground. They're on 19 now. He needs to circle back around and find the zone, and he finally does. Narshni goes down. down.
Wow.
Goes down. Top boy goes down. Closing it on top.
Wow. 20 kills. 21.
Working. They haven't taken any damage that's significant at all. Still both alive on separate. They're playing solos. Guys, you queued up for the wrong mode. What's going on? It's 9 circle, 8 people alive, both on separate layers. Still 3 stinks available for pressure, doing their own thing. Back-to-back intensive goes down the workout.
22.
Another sting going on height to help out his buddy. Isa
HP.
Camo. Finally, these guys are getting put in check. Isa taking stinks. 1 HP. He goes down. Can Camo?
Isa's knocked.
The enemy pops in with a heavy sniper. Mark bringing down their big rain, but so many eliminations.
Holy shit,
as we move on to the last 1v1 Alpha.
22 kills.
Mark going and bullying the last solo player left alive. Isa's big rain going down. Camo also going down as well. Alpha with a big combat shotgun shot. Intensive 8x finally going down as well. They secured the elim points. They secured the victory royale as well. But Camo and Isa, holy moly.
That was huge right there, but not to be understated. Alpha and Duo picking up 18 points right there, 8 elims and the victory royale. Zeke, that was nuts.
Sundown, that was absolutely insane. I mean, first of all, it's so awesome to hear Shy's voice and hear how incredible he is at casting. Let's just...
A great first cast.
That was a great first cast, especially in that game with Isa and Camo. Controller Lords, you got to think with another pop-out performance like that.
Yes.
They could be potentially contesting for a spot.
They could be the only full
Als zij niet kwalificeerd worden, ik word hack.
It is the last chance for any of that to happen.
Ze halen 22 kills in waar ze moeten kwalificeren.
This is just the start of the day, by the way. This is the first block of games. We have way more Fortnite, but for now, let's hang out with Bala. I know you pulled some clips for us to take a look at. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I can explain. I can explain some clips here of what happened into those games. Tickle. I mean, he's by himself, he's trying to clutch up, and everything was going wrong there. He ended up being placed underneath the stairs. His heavy snipe didn't get the wall. The turbo build came in, and then even here, getting the stairs placed, this duo was going to come out on top of him, but he's able to stay composed, get the elimination, and then another situation that was unexpected. Somebody lands right behind him, and he still managed to get away, even with low HP. And when we looked at the leaderboards at the front, we saw all of these teams that were in this game. Here, Orc and Analex on high ground. They use the chug splashes to recoup a little bit before, and Telek unfortunately gets a little antsy, jumps out, and that's going to be the end because
Osmo and Milan
are looking down on top of
Milan.
him. Here, Osmo goes on a tear with his teammate Milan. And I mean, some of the things that they did here, this was really interesting to me because you used to run out in the storm and just tank the damage from the storm to get the loot. But in this case, he's using the chug splash to recover instantly. And then what a catch there from Osmo. We're going to look at another team here, Provoked and Imagine, who are so close to qualifying week after week, especially last week 8. Provoked actually goes down on a waterfall there. Somebody makes its way there. But this shot was disgusting. He didn't even actually get that elimination. He did a 112 to him to the face. But actually, Jorge, who was up on high ground towards the end, managed to nag that from him. But then Osmo taking on both Carnifex and Harmy by himself. Back on Imagine, though, as Osmo finally, because he doesn't have his shotgun reloaded, ends up going down. Imagine with the good attempt after we saw Provoked end up going down from fall damage, takes out Risk while in the storm, and then makes another storm play to kind of try to catch him by surprise, but it's not going to be enough. But it was so close, Zeke. This shot right here, and then look at this. He was so close. He already had his crosshair on his face, but no. Jorge is going to take the win just barely by milliseconds here, Zeke. This was so close.
Man, coming down there to the wire, man, this is just what Fortnite is, right? Like, everyone's going to give it their all. Everyone wants to qualify, and that's the kind of stuff we're seeing. Let's take a look at the leaderboard to see how things are shaking out.
Beter zie ik Ronaldo en Xif niet.
Den Magisk.
Oké, ik zie hem niet, dan is het goed.
Den Magisk.
Magisk. I'm going to call him Magisk.
Great. And TTV, I'm the Beast. We know you. You've been hanging out here for a while. At the top still, though,
Mr. Savage.
7 games remaining.
Yeah.
This is pretty substantial. 3 victory royales right now, 100% win rate. Yeah. Wait, what?
Wat? Ze hebben 62 punten. Ze hebben nog 7 games te halen.
This might be flipped here. Games remaining versus matches played. Possibly Miss Benji, Fishy, and Mr. Savage. We've seen them week after week, and people are starting to, use that Fishy tag at the end of their name to get the good luck. But I mean, Wolfies and Rojo were up here earlier. They've got 57 points now. They dropped down from 1st to 4th. Skype and Vato, who are just barely, I think they got 9th place twice in a row in the duos week. So that's one of the French-speaking duos that have not yet made it. We saw the Solary guys go through before, and then some of these other guys as well, Andalex and Orc, we saw their win. And Dretta, who had the crazy performance in week 9, you guys watched it. Just unbelievable. So it's shaping up. I mean, I'm already seeing Skype and Vato. I'm starting to get excited because they start to play better as time goes on. And we just have all but time right now. It's running down though.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready to get back into these games. Balla, if you are as well, I think we're going to send it back over to Sundown and Shy. Gentlemen, back over to you and keep the action rolling.
Thank you so much, Zeke and Balla. All good, Shy, no worries. But I'm so excited, like you said. We saw so many of those guys up on that top board. It's so incredibly dense. 52 players in this lobby, 28 duos remaining, and again, the 4 final spots. We're coming down to it right now. That line, because the Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy duo have already qualified, would be 54 points. 51 was on the bottom. 3 points separating everyone. That's how tall you have to be to ride the ride. And Storm Surge is on again, Shy.
The pressure's active in EU, and we are in pressure plant as well. The lava's hot. These skins look hotter. The guns look very nice as well with that new camo that's out in the shop as well. A lot of edits going up and around. Once again, Geyser's up in play. A lot of free rotation, free shots being taken too, but a miss coming in from Speezy, very, very close to the opponent's head. Baller's getting shot down on Storm line. Once again, a very good position. A lot of people playing for pre-positioned advantage points and then those feelings rather than getting them on the fly. The Geyser being baited now. Can the beams come through? White HP on that opponent. His fly gets cut short. Jarkos going down now. Where's his dual partner? We don't know. His finish is going to be coming out now as these sweaty soccer skins, Alex and Speezy, are just going to be tearing up this low ground, making sure no one's allowed to be this tall for this EU ride on the northeast side of the map.
And you see them actually able to get into the mid ground. Alex was the player from the Winter Royale who hadn't played competitive before, was just always in the arena duos and said, hey, I'm pretty good at Fortnite, and through the open structure has now been in all of these end games. But Speezy now going to opt to tarp away. We'll see the conversion happen onto Alec, and now has to make some tough decisions in terms of loot. Is going to drop the heavy snipe in favor of taking the rift. Will he opt to fix anything else up? And you can see now he's trying to go back through and just make sure he gets every possible little bit he can.
In these solo spots, when you have to face up against other duos, those spam weapons are always vital. That choice of keeping the drum gun and the AR even on low ammo, Speezy knows at some point is going to be a desperate motion on the low ground or mid ground in terms of making sure that spam is up on opponents' builds. So very smart decision there as we tune into the Fnatic boys. Motor and Vrox going to be looking at their own loot at the bottom here. Have a rift to go as well. Shadows available to get caught up after grabbing the rift, but Motor misses out on those. Not sure if that'll affect him later on. Once again, there are a lot of geysers and a lot of ways to trickle down from height to stay on top of rotation, but that might be a big hit to their loadout and overall play this game.
Yeah, I really hope Vrox grabbed those, because honestly, Shadows are the most consistent in terms of the utility tool, being able to rotate. You have either top down or down up. You're able to rotate and
hoeveel
if necessary, and
materials worden hier verspeeld?
As you see, a lot of other people rotating the good old-fashioned way. It's Fortnite, the battle is building, and everyone is tarping up the side of pressure plate and trying to do damage because that Storm Surge is still active. You can see Motor and Vrox about 9 points off that pace right now to be in the top 10, 12 points off qualification pace. What can they do to get themselves closer? There they are. There are the Shadows we saw earlier. Will he be able to grab them? Is that another misgrab coming out from Motor? And we talked about the clutch and the pressure being on. Now actually misses himself with one of the chug splashes too, but doesn't matter. Call him an action hero as he slides down the side of the volcano and finds the Elim.
Very smart loop balance from those duos as well. Vrox goes down, but he did have a slurp ticking while he let Motor play with those chug splashes. You know, it's easy to have a very efficient chug splash in duos, but on rotation, it's very hard to hit you and your partner. So very smart decisions there. Motor has to be smarter now in a 1v2 situation, using all his mats, around 800 left now as people go down left and right. 26 people left alive, 18 duos, no placement yet. Once again, 7th zone, and a lot of pressure coming down on Motor. His shield getting knocked down, still has those chug splashes to use on the move, making sure that zone damage is not a problem. Shields, not a problem, as he gets all the way back up to 100 HP. Once again, his early game was amazing. Get those guns out, but his life goes down as well to Bodijk.
And he misses the top 15, so no placement points there. Vato and Sky are going to be happy about that, as Vato is still in the lobby. You have Ibu High now with the combat and the flint still rolling around in the ball, and Proxima Star, who was in the top 3, also picking it up there. And Proxima Star being the player who's been around forever, since like the original Summer Skirmish. So good to see his name back up there as Flavo picks up Wraith's Guard, and we're closing in on the top 10. Buhai trying to find a decent amount of space there in the middle, but somebody is way up on Ultimate High as we're rotating around. Zeke gets blasted by Flavo.
Well, iemand even naam CSGO.
Come through? No, he's able to find the zone, but not able to pop it off, as now all of a sudden Old Man Melt, and 1-2 players up top. This is when you wish you had Shadow Bombs. Matsu and Ibu High on the mid ground. Ibu High gets that, but Proxima Star and his teammate just get to rain down shots on the rest of the lobby. Ibu High trying to find some space to exist, but he's going to have to go back over now into the plant. There's only Ibu High in a 1v2, and that's not going to be enough. Fury Legend and Proxima Star going to close that one out. 6 elims and the victory round. That's how they were at 57 points. That's what got them up there, and hopefully they can keep on that pace to qualify.
They ended that game so fast, still had 9 impulses and 2 smoke grenades left at the end, but they decided to just give the lobby a whole haircut as we move in. Once again, the same zone. Geysers going up once again. A lot of launch pads can be saved on this 5th zone rotation. A lot of mats can just be saved as well when you're up in the air, not taking too many shots and basing up, going for these big vantage points as well. Benji Fishy now, the inspiration for a lot of duos in the EU region, getting their name switched for that good, sweet luck in terms of qualifying. He's getting checked on his edit, getting a little bit too close there, giving his fish hat a little bit of a haircut. A lot of heals being used on that as well. Could be a mistake that proves fatal at the end of the game.
And one thing I do like, though, is with how many more shields there have been in the games, is players are taking more risks. They're poking out more. They're looking for more trades. They're willing to go take fights, because it's like, hey, if we don't get everything here, it's not the end of the game. As Ricolas finds a great double snipe onto him. That's what we talk about, always making sure you cover 2 layers. So what are they going to do? They're going to disengage down and over 1 layer and make sure they're boxed up. So not quite in it, so we'll need to rotate just like Milan. But have the guys who can do it. I mean, this lobby's stacked. You see Crew, Nairo, Milan, Osmo, Chapik, Snowda, like, jeez.
We get in these last 4 games, and the games only get bigger with better players over and over. Aqua in here with Nyrox as well. We're going to be tuning into their super dope position up top on this hill. Going to be cutting off a lot of people rotating from mid-ground. They're going to just have to rotate early, though. They're not in zone just yet, dropping just a few layers, but every layer you do drop, that's a box saved on mats. So moving diagonally this way is very smart, but also risky, because you have a little bit less of protection from front. You just saw there Nyrox trying to get double sniped off of his position, but is dynamic in his box, saves that up. Utility now getting split from each duo, making sure each person has a nice exit plan in case that fire alarm sounds in their game and stuff hits the fan. Nyrox going to be looking out, up and around for any vantage points. 5th circle to 6th is that kind of stalemate time where you can look for picks. He gets a nice 33 damage shot on a duo moving down bottom. Aqua looking through his pyramid, looking for any information up on the map as well.
Yeah, and they're just trying to chill. They're just trying to hang out right now, doing everything they can to keep whatever amount of space and to get over on the far side of the zone right away. And that's one thing we've talked about a number of times. When these moving zones come in and you have utility, you want to pop it, get far side, box up, and then turn and see the rest of the lobby. Here's a prime example of it. That's white damage. Going to follow it up right away with the stink grenade. You don't get away from that. He's going to continue pouring down the pressure, and that is Blood X of E11 going down on the side. Brilliantly done, but can they convert onto it? The Storm will move past it, so they want to go over and try and get whatever mats as well as that siphon on it.
Once again, EU is so good at just using their utility and following up with the shots. Nyrox now going down, unfortunately, could not cover his head up top. Very still smart plays there, playing off of his thing, saving that last one until he had damage rather than just using it for an impact in the game. Always make sure you're milking the most out of the stuff you have in your inventory. Benji now still alive with Savage, looking for a reload while the wall goes down. Very unfortunate there. That small mag size of the infantry rifle proving to be fatal in terms of getting that elimination point. Benji and Savage now in the same box, getting caught up in a big community rift. Chapik's going down, getting knocked all the way. Not sure in the rift or beforehand. That Elam coming through, though, that shield will go back up once that server starts moving and the Storm goes over that down enemy.
So he actually got knocked because that was the shot that he hit right before on him. That was the 87 tick. The Storm ended up then ticking him over and then getting it. That was that extension where it's a minute after you've damaged someone. But we have our top 15, so 3 placement points points going out to everyone. The Fishies getting those as well, so on 5 points so far from this match. And also still 2 Shadow Bombs with a lot of mats, so they're going to be able to play for late as Andretta gets picked up. So did get the top 3 points going there from top 15, but not anything more there. Majin and Provoked on the mid tarp. You see I'm the Beast and Magisk Pulse on the high ground above him. Takeoffs just below. Zappy and Red Rush, another duo who have already qualified just below. Anonymous 27, not to be confused with Anonymous 72, just below Dementos here as he's tarping towards the side, trying to make it into the top 10.
A lot of mid-ground tarps coming out now. The zone will start moving in more awkward ways. A little bit of time for Dementos at the moment to see if he can put pressure down up top or down below. Putting vertical pressure upwards as a mid-ground tarper is very, very hard. His duo is down, but does have 6 eliminations. Pay over there. These guys have 8 in total. Looks like it's going to be 9 now, unless no, it was just a finish on Dementos. He's going to be going over on his tarp once again.
But it got him into the top 10, so it's fine.
Mats worden minder.
He still gets 2 points going there from knocking that team out right as the teammate went over. Now Dementos trying to find some room. So far they have gotten 13 points from this match, but they need to pick up the pace there. We saw the top duo was on 60 plus, being up 44. Needs every possible points as 27 picks up Trox. Dementos still trying to tarp over, edits himself back in, finds an angle, but immediately gets cut off. Provoked finds the conversion onto 27, and Dementos is just gonna chill, popping that utility. And again, we've talked about it, just so many more risks and time you get there. As I'm just gonna drop down, start to get test. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots. Can he find it? 4. Finally gets it after using 6 of the 10 combat shots there, but stops Provoked and gets him into the top 5. That could have end up being huge, but Pulse and I'm the Beast working top down right now. Look at the chaos on the low ground. Tohaj being picked up by Benji Fishy, and Evade ADDZ adds, closing him out there. Another player who has played in the skirmishes before. Beast trying to find whatever space he can. Dementos blowing up. Adds there as now it's a 1v2. Dementos in the bottom right. I'm the Beast in the top right with his partner Magi's Post, and there for the high ground. Dementos goes launchpad straight up. Max Glide Height comes in. Can he build it away? Magic pops him off. Dementos tried to get back in the zone, but Magic Pulse brilliantly done, so well executed, and that is why they're on the top, sitting up there currently with the 62
Ze hebben 4 keer achter elkaar
right down to the wire. One more shot is all he needed there, but it was not possible to not connect. The duo does hold it down. Once again, this pattern, very, very smart solo play there, making sure he can pick up all the eliminations before the game ends, even though it's a 1v2 spot right here. Now we got Nauka and MXR, who are both chilling in their big base. Looks like next to Stormline as well, one of the best positions you can be in. Very, very nice loadout there for them as well. They've got their long-range beam, the follow-up with the drum as well, and that crucial combat shotgun, which did get nerfed a little bit on this patch, but it's still the fire rate and that swap delay coming off allows you to make so many cool plays.
Excuses.
They both are sitting on 0 eliminations at the moment, so they must make this effort to catch up near the end of the game.
Yeah, and just one thing in terms of the combat shotgun change, I feel like it's kind of mitigated just because of the removal of the shotgun timer. It ends up allowing you to kind of do, a lot of people call it the TFU Classic, where you're ramping out and you're able to effectively tarp and shoot at the same time with very minimal amount of exposure. And I think it sort of makes up for the slight change in the range in terms of the tiles and how much damage it does. So the combat still being very, very, very strong in the current meta, but you can see MXR being able to push in, trying to find the conversion. Is some pressure from above, and just goes for it. Gianni Jr. showing why he's not Gianni Sr. being taken down there outside the top 20. No placement points for you, and a lot of time wasted in that lobby.
Just a dope reaction there to look up and then look straight up or straight ahead of himself. MXR just carrying that fight right there. Yuntos and Ryu now getting focused by the whole server. Very unfortunate when this happens. Stink's coming down as well, so that's going to be a very, very hard situation to get out of. Ryu now going down. Haiko getting his 3rd elimination, putting him and Ono Kill together on the same or on 4 eliminations there, making sure their points get counted up. 35 points total at the moment. That placement point's going to be coming in, and 4 more duos coming down. 35 people left alive, so that zone surge will also be an option as well.
Yeah, and that was a high value stink. And that's one thing you talk about, you know, it feels really unfortunate when you're getting focused by the whole server, but the reason you're getting focused by the whole server is because you're in an obvious 1x1 that was just rebuilt without priority on the next zone. If everyone is going to focus you, it's much easier to just pile in. You can hear the rift go off left eye, trying to hit it, trying to do everything he can. Will end up finding it there. Storm Surge is active as we have 18 duos left and 34 players, so pretty much everyone has a buddy with them.
And then, yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a stacked team-based endgame at the moment. A lot of 4-gun loadouts also coming in together right now. Dan Zizzle going down on Shadow Nades. Multiple high ground tarps. A lot of them go down. Kazorla is going to be up top. 1 Shadow Nade left on Heiko at the moment. Andre going down from Kazlor's high ground pick. He gets finished off. Heiko gets that big reward off of it. The mats, the utility, campfires as well for the end game. Pickaxe is coming full swing, making sure every wall is theirs before they set on the next move. Not quite in zone yet, but that tunnel will be very, very proficient. We're talking about those combat changes as well before. That also changes the range of engagement as now we have more ARs. The style of the game and how it actually flows as more people are basing up to shoot rather than shooting on the fly if they're not going to be able to box fight changes the way people move around the map as well.
And it kind of has given a little bit of a resurgence, what we've seen so far, to the drum gun. It allows the drum gun to have a little bit more of that mid-range feel to it, to where it is going to out-prioritize the combat shotgun, whereas before the drum gun very much so got forced out in terms of effectiveness as we hit our top 15, so 3 points going over from everyone, because why run a drum gun when you can have an FSA rifle and then the combat? But now there really is kind of a space between, it's closer to like 4 to 9 tiles where the drum gun just shreds. And even now you can see, boom, tack AR, turn about face, 2 elims right there for Johnny Boy and Kazrola. Brilliantly done. Once those will end up tick over, they do have the top 15 as well as Dan Sizzle gets forced out of the lobby. Proxima Star also gets down and everyone gets pulled up into the sky. We're closing in. Boom, top 10 next placement threshold. 6 chug splashes still left. We haven't seen them use to their full potential just yet in these end game storm heal-off scenarios. Proxima Star not going down, the high ground star of the last few games that we saw. A lot of wood builds means that these spam weapons are going to pack a wallop as Johnny Boy gets another knockoff on Ibuhai, the baller player we saw from the other game as well. These rapscallions being sneaky, moving around in brick, metal, and wood. A lot of these big mats now finally coming out, making sure that spam gets stopped down, but more pressure vertically being put down as lair switches come down from their opponents as well. Johnny Boy getting that pickup, maybe not the elimination there, as Onokill also gets another one on top. Yeah, and it was a really good try from Janus there to disengage, dropping back down, but unfortunately wasn't spotted. But Team Queso lighting up the top left as Zohan was able to find 3 elims, make it a 4. As the Spaniards are just fragging their way almost into the top 5, but now Kazrola doing everything he can on the side of the zone. Johnny Boy is still up as well. Great 130 shot in the immediate replace. Kind of upset he didn't try and follow it up right away, but he does. That was Fury Legend. Proxima Stars duo is going to get taken out and outside of the top 5, so that's 2 points is leaving down there. 1 chug splash is tossed out there as we're closing in. 9 players left, 6 duos remaining.
Yayas has all the pressure on him now to get that last placement spot. He is low on HP, but it is kind of free for that. Once again, it goes through 4 duels left now. MXR still alive. His dual partner as well is going to be a big fight on the low ground, and 1 person confirming things from the high ground. Low ground, though, we do have almost 11 chug splashes available as these boxes get bursted into. Onokill going down to MXR. Another quick flick. Yayas going down. He tried to come off from high ground. Maybe he ran out of mats, but nothing worked out for him there. A 4-gun loadout. That heavy sniper still being available. Priority reload on it as well. 3 duos left. Looks like Nauka is down at the moment. MXR moving up on the highest priority ground right now. There might be someone higher than him actually at the moment. Heiko and Johnny Boy on the bottom as well with Kazorla. We'll see what they can do. MXR is going to be controlling this fight at the moment. Heiko, these chug splashes coming down from Johnny Boy and Kazorla. They have so many to use amongst themselves. They're finally going to run out. They're going to be a little bit late on the storm. Heiko going down. Johnny Boy and Kazorla are going to be fighting it out against each other as well. MXR is going to be pressured from the top. Johnny Boy goes down. Kazorla now has to avenge his dual partner and see what can be done here. Both people taking storm takes. MXR coming down, but the heavy sniper is not enough as Kazorla wins that game out all the way, tarping in from that low ground position, making sure he pops off at the right moment, making the best decisions possible, clutching out that game for his dual partner.
It was all about the chug splashes. You called it early, but he went, he hung out on the low ground, and even though he got the siphon, EMXR was not able to close out the match just because he held zone, had the chug splashes, and at everything he needed. And that's something, again, a new mechanic. You can throw it, you can use it on your teammate, but because it's instantaneous HP, it changes what has now kind of been something that's been really solid in the meta for a long time. When you get to endgame, you know, hey, like if a person has a campfire plus bandages, I can do this. Or if I take one tick, I can get a med kit out. Or hey, if I get a siphon under 50 HP, like I'm guaranteed to close this match out. But it's just not enough. And now we're gonna throw it back into the studio to Zeke.
Thank you guys so much, man. European action just never disappoints. Again, Sanan describing the Chug Splash recent edition. I think there's still more to this we haven't seen. I think players are still kind of developing strategies with it, and I want to see how they continue to improve upon using that splash. Now, of course, guys, before we go to break, let's take a look at the standings together. Let's get a sense of where things are, because we're moving into this final block of games. Right now, as it stands, the livestream duo of Skyt and Vato are sitting in that number 1 spot. Now, you have talked about this, all right? You said these guys have been edged out several times, and the most recent time was to the Solary entire squad.
Yep.
You Mr. Savage and Benji Fish helemaal naar beneden.
It was Hunter, Kinstar, and Airwalks and Nikov. And then in week 8, it was, of course, Hunter and Kinstar again.
Yep.
But, I mean, 2 duos weeks in a row, they got 9th place. Finally, Skyt had some success in week 9 in the solos, so it seems that that success is carrying through here. They have 3 games remaining, 65 points, and this is just awesome there. Of course, we look down the list as well. Y and TJ, they've been through, the entire 10 weeks we've been following slightly. They're almost pushing up there, and of course, Y had some pop-off performances beforehand the World Cup even started, and then we watch Magisk and I'm the Beast. Their performance there, we haven't seen too much of a movement here yet in that score, right? 62 points is where we left them off in that game, and they're still obviously probably playing. We'll see if that updates, if they move back into that first place. And then moving down the list, basically, so we have Wolfies and Rojo, they keep moving down and slowly going down. So there is 4 spots up for grabs. And something that's different though, no Stompy and Shinken, no Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage, they're down here right now, but they're not taking up these spots. So it is the top 4 that are going to be going through, and since queues are about to close, we're about to start getting into those final matches. This is looking like these guys right now are punching their ticket.
Well, what's scary too is striking distance from 10 to first is only 7 points. It's only 7 points. A straight up victory is going to get you that 10-point threshold. If 1 elimination along the way, from 10th, you're jumping into contest number 1. So we'll have to see how things unfold. But for now, Fortnite fam, we are going to go to a short break. Get up, stretch legs. Come right back, though, because we have more Fortnite action after this.
Let's fly down to the lobby. Let's fly down to the lobby. Let's fly down to the lobby to get your squad some nums. Burgers from dirt to munch. Tacos royale with brunch. Red juice is a tasty treat for Lil Whip, Peely, and Pizza Pete. Let's fly out to the lobby to get your squad some nums. Let's fly out to the lobby to get your squad some love.
Behind the scenes.
All right, Fortnite fam, we're here for week 9 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open qualifiers. And just like this Cuddle team leader, we are very excited to be here. The final week of solo competition. Hopefully these players can take a bite out of the competition.
Dat is vorige week.
And really
just so you know.
Keep it top notch. Codename Elf. Guys, are you ready for week 9, the finals day?
Courage.
Man, I just had a whole bag of cookies.
A whole bag of cookies.
He's the yes man.
I'm so happy I don't have to be near Zeke for much longer.
We got some qualification. We got a dancing banana too. I want to see Zeke wear that at some point during the World Cup.
Fortnite fam, you guys know I love it when you use that hashtag Fortnite World Cup. We actually have a social producer that helps us sift through all the tweets and all the incredible things you guys send us, and his name is Nick Brown.
All right, guys, my name is Nick Brown, and for the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers, I've been working as a social producer. So basically, every time any of the casters say use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, I'm the one who plays defense to make sure that none of those cheeky tweets with bad words end up on the big screen.
All right, Courage. Let's go to the kitchen. Let's get ourselves some food.
What we got? Some garlic bread. Is that chicken parmesan? Oh my God! It's chicken parm! Yes! You okay? Do I need to put this one back? Bro, they put garlic bread in front of me. You think I'm not gonna get 3 pizzas? Come on!
What's up, Fortnite fam? It's Squints here, and recently we've been trying to level up the observing, so we challenged our observers to get cool dynamic shots and keeping them smooth and technically awesome. And let's share some of our favorite shots with you guys.
I can't imagine the weight that these competitors must feel on their shoulders.
Whoa, okay.
Wow.
Seems like the observers are having a little bit of a competition back there.
All right, observers, let's get it.
And then tried to challenge those fights, and that just freaked me out.
What? Speaking about something freaky.
There is Nick just above Chap's foot. That's apparently someone's name in Fortnite. You don't know about that, Jack? No. I mean, you really need to step up your competitive Fortnite knowledge. It's okay though. It's Chap's foot. Like physically, he plays. I hate you.
What's up? It's Monster D-Face.
What's up?
Yo, Monster. You know you're my favorite?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I told you you were my favorite, would you believe me?
Probably not. We all know Sundown's his favorite, guys. That's why, dude. Right there.
What? Dude, it messes me up.
You know, a lot of people ask me what the best part about replay is. It's got to be working next to GFX Becca.
People ask me all the time what the best part about being a graphics operator is.
Someone here specifically that keeps the ball rolling no matter what happens. And his name is Jordan.
What's up, Fortnite fam? My name's Jordan, and I am the production manager on the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. My job includes making sure the production happens smoothly, handling staffing, catering, any technical issues that may arise, making sure everyone else is doing their job.
He's really good at stuff.
We're on a break, and Jeff is going for the high score.
Ik wil die fucking emotes.
Oh my God.
That's really special. And he has this
Not for you.
Rain him down. I don't know if he realizes it's completely uncontested. But
It's over. Week 9 is done. Goodbye.
Welcome back, Fortnite fam, to week 10 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open qualifiers. My name is Pookie Face. We've gotten into a little bit of the European action. We're playing duos today. I know I'm excited to see how everyone fares. We only have a few more spots left in New York at the end of July. So without further ado, I want to get into more games, but in order to do that, I need some casters. I got Zeke. I got Bala, boys. Take it away.
Thanks so much, Pookie. We are here. Can't stress this enough. This is the final week. This is it, week 10, final opportunity, the final chance for players to earn a spot in the World Cup Finals in New York City. It cannot be more stressful than this.
No, it can't. There's only 4 spots up for grabs in the EU, and we're already seeing the story shape up. Skyt and Vato might be making that last-second clutch into New York City. But let's get into action because we have to figure out who is going to be left standing when the dust is all settled. So let's get into games.
Here we go. The first game of the block. So don't forget, those queue times, very, very close to being all wrapped up. Then we're going to have a little bit of extra time to just make sure everyone gets all their games through and completed. Don't forget it's 3-hour window or 10 matches, whichever comes first. Hopping on here with Kiklos, ZQ and his partner, Swats. 4 elimination between them. 41 players remain in the current lobby with 22 duos still left. Look at this circle right now.
Yeah, it's going over that entire ravine there, the bridge in the middle. So kind of a little bit of a treacherous path, but I can already see, just based on the stances of some of these players are taking, they're ready to hop over with the launch pads or shadow bombs or whatever they might be using. and to get in that half in, half out, which is positioned right on that big hill with the, you know, the tree of life, as I call it.
Yeah, that's one that I've taken. I just used to call it big tree, then I was like, no, tree of life makes sense. But if you're watching the bottom right, you see all the triangles. They're already converging on the new save. So Nyrock's gonna get ripped out of the air immediately. That is another elimination, and Swats confirms it there. 5 between the duo now, and this is huge. Now keep in mind they're pretty separated, but I mean, Kiklas is in the baller, so he can kind of navigate as he needs to.
Yeah, but separation is, you know, what actually caused that elimination to go down onto Nyrock's Aqua.
Oh, the baller!
Oh, no.
Well,
that is so sad to see. Just like he took out Aqua, he actually blew up his launch pad right before he managed to get on it. So Aqua going a little bit too fast, but here he's going a little bit too fast for his baller. And again, split from his teammate, just like he said, Zeke. Is he going to be able to find anything from here on this low ground position? A little bit tough.
You know, trying to divide and conquer, I mean, it can work for you, right? Like, if you've got the confidence, you've got the skill, you can absolutely make it work. But look how far away diagonally he is right now. I mean, you got to think this is the top 1%, right? Don't forget the top 3,000 or 1,500 duos from the region move on to finals. Maybe you'll catch some people off guard, but for the large part, you're not going to catch many like incredible players off guard with that kind of tactic, right? Like they're going to be looking, they're waiting. Like someone's going to do something cheeky here. I just feel it. 44.88. Oh my God. Okay, listen, rest guard. Well, all right, I was going to say pull off another shot. He just beat me to the punch. He's like, Zeke, I got you. Don't worry.
That infantry rifle being used right through the window. So strong at putting out those high damage numbers right away, taking down that duo. And actually going to manage to snag the loot as well. Meanwhile, on the rest of the server, I did see Boyer and Crippa. I saw Dementos in the lobby. So Boyer and Crippa, one of those teams that a lot of people were looking forward to, you know, qualify for New York, but not have yet having those performances in this lobby. We'll see what they're able to do. Obviously, Haxguard and Refsguard are Haxcore, sorry, are way on their way towards that top of the leaderboard, but the RPG coming in.
So I believe, if I remember correctly, I think Crippa was actually picked up, and I think Boyer's by himself. Once we can take a look at the high and wide shots here and establish things, we'll get a better sense. But right now, rotations need to begin happening. Shadow bombs are being popped, and look at this. Gonna try and reposition here with Ref's guard. That's good. Team is back together, and the chug splashes. Thank you, teammate. And it comes out. Didn't catch it. The player drops down to 76 over on. There you go. Sigma has been eliminated, going back to the lobby.
And that is exactly how you want to place the traps. When you drop somebody into the box, make sure you place it on that front wall or the roof, and then you can rotate the stairs accordingly. But they have no chance of escaping from the left or the right when you place it in that fashion. Great reaction there from Haxcore and Refsguard, and we're going to stay on them.
First round of placement points coming out. Right now, they have 3 eliminations, which in itself is huge. There you see Boyer goes down, has been eliminated, even Alliance Powder as well. And this lobby is just going to continue to thin out. Edrikill going to be picked off as well by Pathby, and this just continues. Benji Fishy is also in the lobby as well. He's going to pick up Mav Joe. And right now, I mean, if you're Rafsguard and you're Haxcore, you're probably thinking, like, I'm watching the elimination feed. I know these Titans are in here. What are we looking to do, right? You've already got the first round of placement points. You're about to hit the next round. Do you think they just go full send, try to find eliminations, maybe play it a little bit slower? Oh, my God! Please. Oh, God.
I was going to say that's what they're doing right now, but that's definitely going to put them on the back foot. The flint knock is actually going to knock him back into the zone. He used all the chug splashes, so that's not going to be useful to get back in, but Haxcore still up. They did take out Benji, which was the player that RPG'd them, kind of caused them a little bit of chaos and panic. But still alive, still rocking down on this low ground. This is where they've been staying the entire time, and so impactful down here, Zeke.
Look at the lobby now. 6 players remain, all of which are solo riders. No one's got a buddy. Themo here, he's going to find one over on Josa there and find an immediate elimination. Top 5. Another round of placements for everyone in the lobby.
Yeah, but only on wood. These players that are finding down below are not covering their top. He's going to find one. Can he find another? Not just yet. He does have that flint knock if he does need to get back up. But again, no materials, it looks like, or they're playing very sparse with them. Now using that flint knock to get down onto the height that he needs to so he doesn't take any fall damage. No risk, but another player trying to get up over the hill. And unfortunately, Haxcore is left below, but the storm is playing with his favor right now. He's going to be able to get up.
Look at this. Themo's got high ground advantage right now. Haxcore low on HP. And Vic here, he's got, oh, just kidding. I was going to say HP advantage, but it doesn't matter. Hackscore evens the odds. And now Themo has that high ground control. Hackscore's got to do something, but a huge shot comes back over. And this is Themo's game to win 4 eliminations between the duo. Victory Royale, a 13-point game.
Yeah, and they tied, actually, in terms of points with Hackscore and Refguard. So a valiant effort there from low ground. We saw them completely, you know, stuck down there, no opportunities to get out, but making do with what they get. So they pushed themselves up to over 60 points now, and that is definitely something that you want to be at moving into these last games. The queues are definitely about to close.
There you go. We got another game, of course, more Fortnite action. You had near Happy Hamlet right now. Storm Circle 5. Don't forget, if you're new to Fortnite, the way we've been running the qualifiers, we hop into the Storm Circle 4, 5, sometimes even 6, getting right in the action, skipping past the looting, the drops, all of it, jumping right into all of the action to be had. I think we should probably refresh people on the format just in case they're tuning in for the first time. So guys, don't forget, every single elimination is a point. Top 15, 10, 5 in the victory hour, all the placement thresholds. Look at this. Cubs is just finding elims.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need to do. When you're on the edge of the zones, you have options to get in. He has those shadow bombs if he wants to use them, but you obviously don't want to use all your mobility early. You only have 2 of those, so he forces out the launch pad from the team nearby. If that did not work, he still has the option to go ahead and use those shadow bombs, so doesn't have to worry about that rotation. And honestly, getting a bit of luck based on the players who are coming in, but sometimes you just force it out.
That's right, man. This lobby is still so packed right now. Got so many players. Just a few one-by-ones over. Gafal, though, is going to be dropped immediately, and now we head over to Requiem George and his teammate, 2Gen Ever. They're trying to isolate this player. So this is one we saw go down, and now they're just hunting, trying to make sure they can find this elimination as quickly as possible. I like the way they're navigating this, right? They're breaking 2 separate builds instead of just trying to bash through a single wall. Just making it more difficult. If you're on the inside, you're like, how, you know, they're coming in from 2 different angles. How do we defend against this? They did get the revive off, Paula, but they still have a lot of pressure.
On the same token, when you do go from 2 different angles, you also have to be careful because that's 2 more angles that they can use.
Right.
And that situation being box to box, face to face, 1 wall in between each other, and the stairs there kind of rotated the awkward way. Very difficult to kind of escape from that if they do manage to get that wall, if they do manage to get an angle on you. So deciding to back off, probably the healthy decision, especially as Zone 6 starts to move.
We saw George here drop a few, potentially 1 shadow bomb for his duo partner Ever. And here we go, they're immediately popped. The rotations are going to come out, but again, this is a very dense lobby. 33 players currently remain, 19 of them being duo partners. They need to find more. You know, you got to think, obviously you want to try and make placement. That's huge, but every extra elimination is going to make the difference on impacting that leaderboard. And I'm sure this is things they're thinking about, right? I'm just thinking aloud right now. Oh, perfect. Castery gets traded out there, trying to make a late rotation. Not today, friend, not today.
Well, we saw earlier, I mean, they're only at 35 points in this game, but we saw Camo and Issa with that crazy performance to try to push them up into leaderboards. They weren't in the top 10 last we looked, but, you know, those performances are the one that really push you, not just 1, 2 spaces, but really 5, 10, 20 even in some cases.
That's right, and look up top, FaZe, Vorwin, and Atlantis Tux. They've got themselves the high ground advantage, which is huge. It's going to make a difference. Look at this. Someone trying to challenge, and immediately they say, we need to bail out. This is not the strategy. And Razny gets shredded like shooting fish in a barrel, comes right out of the sky, and the elimination is confirmed.
And this is even with the changes to the combat shotgun, the effectiveness at range getting dropped a little bit, but Warwin not doing anything, not worried about it at all. But here, Tux is going to be fighting for height. I think Warwin, his teammate, needs to start pressuring and stop this. But oh my goodness, what a shot up above the builds. Tux is going to find that elimination just there. Sloopy not going to find a height. Still going to be on Tux and Vorwin. Advantage to them.
Crack a ball right out in front. He drops the player and gets some blue damage numbers. Remember, that's on shield. If it's white damage numbers, they've got no shield. Tux gonna okay! Poseidon! Juve just gets ripped as well. People are just being picked off left and right. More shots.
I mean, at a certain point, Zeke, it's, do I even want to glide up there? But hold on, because somebody does go into zone and make a play for height, and that's going to be the signal for Tux and Vorwin to drop down. But as he says that, he's got a partner in crime going down. Nepsi cannot go parallel to Tux. Vorwin still has it, though.
This is huge, too, because he didn't have many builds, and that Elim gave him a ton, so now he can actually go try and meet back up with Vorwin, see how things are going. And, I mean, Tux and Vorwin, they're playing out of their minds right now, but look at everyone down below still. You got a few people in ballers. Gafal was on lethal HP. So many people in that mid-ground tarp that are now engaging Fremont and his dual partner. 9 eliminations between them. They just hit top 10. 2 rounds of placement points. What in the world? A 14-point game, 15-point game.
Yeah, and we just talked about Camo Innis's performance, and Fremont and Kong right now making their way towards one of those that will push them up the leaderboards. They're at 66 right now, and maybe making a case for them to go to New York. Fremont and Kong, a little bit of a break right here. They're going to drop those turrets out, make sure that that's not going to be in the trap rotation. He's going to get it. The trap doesn't go. Oh, yes, he did go in, but not going to manage to do it. Finds Rasco regardless. And now his teammate as well. He actually finds Kubex too as they drop down all together, but it's now only Fremont. And look at this gaggle of players down below. I don't know if they're going to be able to all survive. Right now, Fremont does go down, and it's now Tux and Vorwin against Edwin on his own. Tux goes down and already finds the shots, and that's going to be the victory royale for Tux and Vorwin.
They played that so well, right? Like, they just waited. They knew, and especially 8 eliminations. An 18-point game, this is massive. This also, we saw the other duo was at 62 points. They're now at 66, so you got to think they're contesting for at least top 5, but for them to realize, like, look, everyone's down below. They're all fighting on that low ground tarp. Let's just hang out in the sky. Let's just do what we do best, wait this out. And, of course, everyone, like fish in a barrel, comes to them. But look at this. Stompy and Shinken here. The little thin pancake who belongs in my heart forever. I mean, these guys, I don't know what else I could say about these guys. Like, the fact that they've been on top of the leaderboards weeks in a row. If you've got to think this is a favorite going into Fortnite World Cup Finals. You have to.
I think, you know, I'm looking at everybody using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup and all the predictions going in for New York, all the different personalities starting to make their opinions known. Everybody is putting Stompy and Shinken way up there, if not first and second, because they are dominating week after week, and I think we are in for a treat in this game because they're getting close, and they're in the end game, and this is, honestly, I think this might be the first time we've seen them. And you know what they do in end game, Zeke. It is crazy, clinical Fortnite.
They absolutely terrorize the lobby. They just, everything they do is about how can they get an edge up, and then they make sure they're almost like squeezing the life out of you very slowly, right? Suffocating is like the word my mind went to, but it's kind of just like they're bringing the wall.
It is that.
It is that, right?
Because like when they do find an opportunity, they pounce so hard and so fast, and you have no time to react, and they just come from multiple angles, just like this. Stompy from above, Shinken on the bottom, and he already takes down 1 carries exactly. You see Shinken switching to him right now. He actually can get right behind him, and he finds it, but does now need to make sure that nobody is going to take advantage of the fact that Stompy is down. You can see immediately editing him down all the way because he needs to change positions. Everybody knows they just got an elimination in that box. And I think Freddy and Snagged right here are going to see if they can take advantage here. They're definitely getting the loot, so maybe that's enough for them.
I think they're going to get the revive off. And don't forget, Shinken actually has a Chug Jug in inventory, so he's going to be completely okay. He passes it over to Stompy. This is good. Now they have to have the 15 seconds. This is where things could get a little crazy, right? Because we saw the duo up above. If they decide to challenge, Stompy is not in fighting condition right now.
A note there that Stompy went so far away from where that initial fighting was and goes all the way to the farthest spot, not only for the zone, but also for anybody trying to find out where you are. And here comes the launch pad from Stompy. They're going to move ahead. Ooh, a nice little short launch there by accident even, but I'll take it if I'm Stompy.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate your point, you know, these guys are playing at the highest level possible, right? They know what a Chug Jug sounds like. Those sound cues are so very distinct. If you're sitting in a box and you hear that sound down below, you're like, we're going down. Let's make some edits. Someone's on critical. We're going to take him out. And that's why he moved so far away, to make sure no one knew what was going on. So huge. 23 duos left. 39 players. Right now, they're making a rotation. You got people out in front, which is good, and they're still staying close by. which is really going to maximize their efficiency here.
Stomp is al 4 of 5 keer gekwalificeerd.
Well.
I think staying close by is something we're actually not really used to seeing from Stompy and Shinken. We see them trying to take over the lobby and get as many opportunities as possible, but what is that from Stompy? I mean, but one of the things that is very important here to note is their mobility is starting to look scarce. All that we see on Stompy right now is that glider play. They already used their shadow bombs, the launch pads, because of the position they were put in. They couldn't rotate early. So here, staying together, making, oh my goodness, he found
got a rift.
As I say that, the rift to go, the almost most valuable item at this point in the game, because not only are people rotating in the congested zones, but they're not looking up, because that first portion of the movement, everybody is looking to see, where do I need to go next?
And they've got a great bird's eye view, right? They're slowly descending on. You've got Al down, but look, so now they're going to make the decision. We have to contest.
Oh, they knocked out.
Someone just brought the entire structure down. This is, it depends on what they decide to do. Look at Stompy. He's already trying to contest for the high ground, and Shinken had to stop for just a moment to get that mini off. He's got the shadow bomb, but I don't think he wants to use this right now. He gets cracked from behind. The slurp is still ticking right now. He's just got to get himself into safety. He doesn't have any other utility baller, like a campfire, that would help him right now.
Yeah, but possibly Stompy does, and he's right on top of him now. So great, you know, staying together. They're glued to each other, almost in another elimination. First finding it before moving out. He gets stuck in the cone, but he's got to cover himself first. Does end up going down the zone. So perfect play here from Shinken, and he's moving forward. And they did get in the top 15 just now as well with those 2 eliminations.
And just the way that Shinken is like fluidly chaining eliminations back to back. And remember, if you don't finish that player off, there's a little bit of time before that siphon comes through. There's a player in the box. Oh! It doesn't even matter. Nevi gets shut down. They're on 11 eliminations right now. They're about to hit top 10. Bala, they're playing out of their freaking minds.
Nevi, one of those players who was towards the top, him and his teammate from Evade, and getting shut down here from Stompy and Shinken, 2 people who have already qualified, who are not playing for qualification spots, but playing for keeps. Right now, they're showing off why they should be at the top of the leaderboard, and we just talked about it. We were like, where's Stompy and Shinken? Because there's nobody who's qualified at the top of the leaderboard like we're used to seeing, but maybe after this game, things are gonna change, but the Heavy Snipey coming in. Heavy Snipey?
Snipey, yeah, absolutely. Snipey coming through. Now, don't forget, they're also at 66 points. We've seen 3 duos now with that point value. And look at this, Stompy's got to chain together these eliminations. Shinken is down, but it's okay. Stompy's been in positions like this before. He knows how to clutch these games up. The campfire is rolling, Bala. He's getting back in that rhythm.
Getting back in that rhythm and achieving top 5 right there, that last placement threshold before the Victory Royale. So all he has to do.
There we go, the key to all doors! Oh my! Okay, I'm going to lose my freaking voice after today. I'm telling you right now. Stompy and Shinken are putting on a show. The European queues are done as well. It's a free-for-all right now. Also, Pewds goes down a rocket from up above, Bala.
Just barely dodging that. And now he's up to 10, 15 total for this duel. It's a 1v1v1. He's hunting the player down on low ground, but he can't get in the zone. I think that's going to be the end because Katsus is looking right at him. Now, has the Chug Splash. The RPG just barely is going to hit the wall in front of him. Using the Chug Splash and the campfire, I don't think it's going to be enough because the player up above probably has more in the tank, but he's going to come down. Is it going to happen? No. Massey is going to win that game against Cactus over the heel off there, and that is just an unbelievable sequence of events. We followed Stompy and Shinken from the beginning, and look where they ended up. 15 eliminations, the most out of any placement thresholds besides the Victory Royale. That is a performance for the ages and a reminder of why we need to be scared of them going into New York City.
That ain't no little tiny thin pancake, bro. That's a big old beefy pancake covered in delicious syrup. You like to see it. But of course, guys, there's more Fortnite action. We've got more games hopping in right now. Got Dervig and his duo partner. They've got their eyes set on another duo sitting in a box. I believe they've got double heavy snipes. That's why we'd ping this out. A single shot's going to come out and wait for it. Okay, so they're going to break this wall. They want to get a little bit of a better vantage point. That's smart, right? Because they're over that little lip there. Nope, they're not there. But now you've made the heavy sniper known, right? Now this other duo is like, well, they're looking to take shots. You know, the panic launch pad.
I don't necessarily know if that's panic. So they are in the side of zone, making their way in, and you can see now Drivig and his teammate Waldo are going to go in, but he box fights indeed. Gets Wet Bra right out of there. No chance to react at all. And that is something that you can catch people by surprise is they're trying to make that rotation, right? They're trying to figure out what their plan is to go forward. And because of that, they're all looking around. They're not paying attention to the fact that they're not covered. They're not paying attention and listening to the fact that there's a heavy sniper coming in or just a pickaxe even from one of the most obvious locations right above you.
And I mean, you saw them separate for a moment, him and his dual partner, and now they just use that rift to reposition and get to go close back together. You got Marcote here and Squalls K. Got Marcote here has got 6 eliminations. Again, this is almost unusual, Bala, because I feel like, you know, semifinals are typically the day where you find a ton of players sitting on mountains of eliminations, right? Borderline double digits at times. But on finals day, very rarely you see that happen. You see eliminations be picked up toward the end, right? When you break that placement barrier and then you're like, I'm just going to catch people making late rotations. But that's not been the case today. You can tell players they're ready. They are so hungry. They want those tickets.
You can almost feel the pressure that they're feeling, that they're playing with. Right? The high eliminations, they have to go for it because it's all or nothing right now in this moment. There's only 4 spots left up for grabs in EU. That isn't much out of all the players who are playing and out of the top 1,500 that made it from semifinals to today.
That's right. And remember, we recently saw the highest point value we've seen is 66. So we know that's like, we'll say top 10 at best right now. But look at everyone in the sky all hanging out. May have been a rift to go, a community launch pad, a potential guy. Yeah, the vents are right there over by the hot spots. Right now, Alpha and Mark, they're just chilling, trying to find more eliminations. Any at all would be helpful. They find one.
That stink bomb coming to great effect as players start to make all their rotations. And it was a perfect opportunity to use it because as we saw, there were so many players in the sky, and those players in the sky are all going to end up being low because of everybody else looking right up at them. So a good opportunity for a lot of people to find eliminations there, but I'm going to opt to rift as they start to get pressured and as this 7th zone starts to move.
This is going to be a little bit weird, right? Because remember, we're fighting in that biome that's like forest, the big tall trees. Depending on where we go, they could potentially land on the top. Let's stream Vato there in the bottom right corner for just a moment. They're in this game, and remember, they are looking to qualify. Wolfies and Rojo, we saw them earlier, right? They were in top 5. Yeah. They're still here with 65 points.
For some context, when we first checked in on the leaderboards, it was Wolfies and Rojo who were in the top spot, but they did get overtaken by Vato and Sky, so this might actually come to a head. Those 2 teams facing off in this game. Here's Wolfies getting in that box. He's going to take out Jachu from behind. But his teammate coming through with the trap, not going to be enough because Wolfies, the quick edit's going to go back on top of him and does find the elimination. Precious goes down. Even using the turret there, I mean, I'm wondering if that was a panic or an accident. But it's going to work out perfectly because if anybody was playing down below, he actually doesn't have to spend a cone there. It's not going to go down. It gives you extra HP on that floor.
And look, dude, they're still in this. Sky and Vato, they're in that middle ground tarp. They're actually going toe-to-toe with Wolfies and Rojo right now. This is the duo that they're fighting. So look, they actually have 70 points. This is now the new highest total we have seen. So it must be another 2 points coming in. They've hit top 10. The next threshold they're looking at is top 5 ball. It's coming down to the wire.
And you can see how careful and calm they are playing. They're making sure that they spend the time to use their heals, use their items, because if you don't use them, you're going to lose them. And finding one that's Drivig who goes down, and they're still pushing for that top 5. They're still pushing towards that victory royale and looking really good while doing it.
I thought that was Wolfies and Rojo. I thought with my heart of hearts. I believed it. And look at this. Watch the top left. Rojo finds another elimination, so you know he's alive and kicking. They've hit top 5, 75 points over on the Lestream duo. The French-speaking community's got to be losing their minds. Up above, you got Mark and Alphen as well. The question is, where is Wolfies? Where is Rojo? Where are they in relation to each other? This duo right in front of them very well could be them. Or it could be Alphen and Mark. It depends. I want to see this hide wide, man. I almost want to see a 3-box. I got to know with my heart.
Well, the trap going in there is definitely going to de-incentivize Sky and Vato to go in, and there we can see Mark and Alphen up top. Wolfies and Rojo down below. They take out takeoffs. And now it's all time to go right down. They know exactly the situation, but Sky gets taken out right away by Wolfies, and they're still fighting. Vato goes out. Rojo and Wolfies take the win there, and they're still going. There's only 2 players remaining. It's a 1 versus 1 right now. Low HP, though. And Smoke, Mark, and Alpin are going to come up from the top and clean up house.
That was insane. They ended with 77 points. That extra 3 points would have probably helped get them to that 80 threshold and just help build that lead, but this is absolutely insane. I think, Ball, for now, we got to send it back in the studio. We got to meet up with Pookie. We got to see how things are going. So, Pookie, let's send it your way.
Thank you so much, Zeke. I am here in the studio. Those games are absolutely wild. EU is, like always, not disappointing, that is for sure. But I am joined with my good friend Sundown. He has got some clips for us. I know you got a little bit of Stompy. Can't wait to see that. Show us what you got.
Yeah, let's actually jump in right here with some of the duos who have been popping off so much today in the last block. First off, we had the VAR duo of Refscar and Hackscore being able to put a ton of work on the mid ground. So first, you can just see catching the players who are trying to rotate through, putting the legendary infantry rifle to work, finding Comey there, but watch what happens on the rest of the mid-ground tarp. That's one thing we talked about, being ready to fight at all times. Catches Booth right there, 0 ping, won't save you as Refscar, then immediately edits around, checks another angle, gets the cleanup on Idrikill. That wasn't his knock, but the materials that he ends up getting from that was huge. But Hackscore is then covering the other side, is able to get the other part of the Valhalla Vikings duo, and now they're going to work. Benji Fishy, one of the best players in the world, going down on the backside, brilliantly done, and Hackscore picking up another one on the Impact Fixie, fragging his way into the top, but wasn't able to close it out. Tux now, on the other hand, was a one-man wrecking crew here. Just watch him going to work on the backside of the storm and putting the combat shotgun to work. I mean, for me, you can tell it got adjustments there with how Tux is just lasering people. And then that shot was so good, catching Nipsey in shadow form as he dropped down around the side, and he wasn't done yet. Again, we've talked about the power position that is the high ground when you're able to work from top down, close the bottom of the store, and Tux and Vorin just close out here, making sure he's phased through the floor to get Edwin. Now, we've seen a duo trying to qualify. Here's a duo who has already qualified and are potentially one of the best in the world for this part of the competition. Now, got the trade off there. Shinken gets the revive onto Stompy. He's sitting currently at 4 elims. They're on 6 right now, but let's start counting, because Stompy is going to go to absolute work, and this is just catching people in rotations and being aware. The quick double right away pushes them up to 8, and that was Melside too on the back side of it. Now they're up to 11 because Shinken was able to go to work, but the revive on Stompy ends up being the difference because he's able to push through. Finds Mashus right there, now up to 12 as a duo. You will see Shinken go down on the backside there, so Stompy is just going to continue being a one-man wrecking crew on the tarp, up to 13 as a duo. Heavy snipes his way in, doesn't slow down, and continues pushing the pace, picks it up there, but unfortunately wasn't able to close out for the victory route. Stompy putting on a clinic, showing why he's able to contest for the very top. Now, as we talked about, the queues are closed, but we're not done yet. We want to see those final matches and what's left, Books.
For sure. Now, interestingly enough, I had the opportunity to speak with Stompy the other day. You know, we exchanged a little bit of back and forth about how he's feeling for World Cup. Him and Shinken are practicing 12 hours a day. They are going into this hard, and from what we've seen, it certainly shows. But you know what? I can't wait to get into more games. Zeke and Bala, let's hear from you.
Pookie just flexing all over us right now, talking about how she's talking with Shinken and Stompy. That's cool. I also talk to players. No, it's not. Pookie.
Don't cry on us now, but
it's already cried 6 times. That's a 6. All right, Fortnite fam, we are back.
And we're tuning in with Pyro and Destiny's Jesus right here. Destiny's Jesus is definitely somebody that's been on a lot of people's radar because, you know, we all learn from this guy. Everybody's watching his videos because every single day it feels like he's coming out with a new technique on how to box fight or how to build fight. His partner Pyro right now, they're slightly split. See if they're going to be able to find any picks on the way in. Do find Wolfie. It's not the Wolfies that we saw from the other game. So just to keep that in mind right here.
Different Wolfies. So let's reiterate. We did not look at standings. But we know like 77 points is the highest we've seen at this point, right? So for Pyro and Destiny's Jesus, especially with maybe the last few games, they've got to make some really big things happening. Right now, Pyro is saying, don't even worry, fam. We've got you. We're going to pick up eliminations left and right. They've also hit the first round of placement points. This is going to be super, super beneficial for them.
Yeah, and when I said they were split, I didn't actually realize that they're not even split at all. They just kind of have two different angles here that they're approaching, finding picks right here. Destiny's Jesus looking down that south side, and Pyro looking over towards the east. And finding those eliminations, not only does he have those, but he's feeling comfortable because he's finding those picks, getting the siphon, all that. They're getting themselves healthy, but he has 2 rip-to-goes as well in the inventory as Carnage is to go for heavy snipe. Oh, that is why you kind of need to make sure that you're not going into these situations, these end games, with low white HP, with low health, because if you don't have any bandages or anything like that, you're not going to be able to recover that without siphon, right? And if somebody is carrying, by chance, some stink bombs, and they realize, hey, I can go ahead and throw this on this box and get 2 people ticking down at the same time, that's value from that stink bomb, and also finding an elimination because he was low, too low to even survive even a tick from it.
And I mean, they made it very known that what they were trying to do, right? The first heavy snipe came in and blew the wall out. At that point, you got to just build a wall, re-edit your ramp, and then just like move a 1x1 space back, right? A grid space back, because you know what they're trying to do, and you've got to expect. I did not expect that. Another stinker here, and this is what I'm talking about, right? You already see the players trying to get away from the stink bomb there, but in a similar fashion, you got to be ready. You got to think, what could they have at their disposal? They're trying right now, especially this position. We've got to be ready for a stink to come in. But right now, Carnage is going to look to reposition. Pretty good spot right now on this far side of the circle. Now we're just waiting.
Heavy snipe comes in. The tree's in the way, though, and I don't think there's a player directly in this box. He might have thought, because the tree was in the way, that
they were hiding behind.
Yeah, exactly. When the sound is there, you kind of hear the sound cues. You know that there's something coming. But regardless, oh,
there's the player.
He comes in from the side. They both edit into the same box from different walls, and that's going to be the end of probably both of those duos, unfortunately, because they're fighting right on the edge of zone and with walls ahead of them as well. They're not going to be able to make their way out that easily, and a lot of players are going to realize exactly what's going on. But look how high Vapors and Yuto are right now, and we're already down to 12 teams in this game, Zeke.
I mean, they've got the builds, they've got a flint knock, they've got a chug splash, just a single one if they need to get crazy. They drop down in the box, the first shot misses, 125. And Land gets destroyed there. The chug splash going to help top him off. Unfortunately, look, his dual partner Yuto up above has been dropped, so now it is all on the shoulders of Vapor. They have 3 eliminations between them, so they've got to chain together more if they're looking for more points. Thankfully, the Storm goes back the opposite way.
And look who actually took high ground from them. It's Destiny's Jesus and Pyro, who we saw in with before, and he still has that GL that he's been using, the grenade launcher from range, finding himself one before, and actually going to find another Rift to go. Not going to be that useful right now. But that GL is going to be, because they are having a free roam range right here up on top. They can throw this GL down in so many different cracks. And did he get it in that wall? Yes, but it's not going to find any damage. Actually, somebody fighting for height right now, but with those build fight tactics that he's been working on, he's going to go ahead and crank right back up and not let him take it. But in this case, does end up taking it. The chug splash coming in. Ooh, a Rift play. This is kind of an all or nothing. They might land on Alpha and Blaster right here. No, they're going to go out and scoop back out of the zone, but no, Pyro lands, and Destiny's Jesus didn't, so a little bit of miscommunication right here. Is Destiny's Jesus going to be able to maybe knock this out? Because I know Pyro has something. He does find Blaster, so is he going to actually take this team on head-to-head right now and possibly put themselves in position to win this game? Destiny's Jesus making his way right back up, and this fight is for all the marbles. The spam coming in from below, and that's going to be the end of Blaster and Alpha. Pyro and Destiny's Jesus took the high ground.
This is so huge. All he had to do was buy the time for the siphon to come through, and that's exactly what he did. Look, Alpha dropped all the way down. He was like, look, you know what? That entire fight is lost. And now Destiny's Jesus and Pyro can rejoin. Down below, Pablo is going toe-to-toe with Alpha. And look at this, Suicide Mark as well. He gets traded out. And now Pablo is in a 1v2.
I think actually Destiny Jesus just knocked a few GLs down there, but he falls to his elimination right there. He gets knocked, and right now Pyro's making the slow climb down. It's now a 1v1 as Alpha goes down, but Pyro takes out Vapor, and the Victory Royale puts them at 63 points to win that game.
Man, So don't forget, we've seen quite a bit of points. They very well could be contesting for top 5 right now. And that would be absolutely huge. But of course, more games, more action to tune into. We're over by Tomato Temple. Look at it. All hail your tomato overlords.
Well, right now, just a recap of where we're talking about in terms of standings. You said that the highest points that we saw was what, 77?
77.
So
that's the highest we've seen so far.
Jesus Imperial at 63 or maybe 64, depending on how that updates with that last elimination. They could be pushing up towards not necessarily qualification range just yet, but another one of those performances, and they very well could be. Remember though, the queues are closed, so that could have been the last game that we just watched there. Here's Rennick takes out Mitro, and his teammate Vermax is already down, so Mitro himself did not have his duo partner Mongrel, but we already know their prowess. They've, you know, it seems as if they've qualified multiple times for duos already, Mitro and Mongrel, so they're not worried about that. Obviously not getting a chunk of that $2 million that's spread across all the regions. But again, talking about the scores and the standings, right now you can see Frenzy and Ads are already kind of tied with that last team that we saw.
Yep.
So possibly
and if I
push
remember,
up through this game.
If I remember, it was Stomping Toshinkan, right, that had 77. If I remember correctly. It's honestly there's so much action.
If that's an assumption that we're trying to make, I think we can go ahead and make that comfortably.
I think what I was also going to say in regards to that is that don't forget they've already qualified, right? So even if they're sitting at that #1 spot, that shifts the entire standings down, all right? So not 1 through 4th that are going through, but instead 2 through 5th will be going through. But right now,
and that's a story in and of itself. Stompy and Shinken, they have done it every single duos week. They have done it every single duos week. They have not missed a beat on making sure they're up in the top spots every single weekend.
Man, to get and be able to like get that kind of practice, right, and to keep doing it. One thing would be like, we qualified, we hit, you know, the very next week we hit first, all right, then we've hit at least like maybe top 10. But no, these guys are hitting top 3 back to back.
Stink bombs right now, Zeke. I think he's going to get both from this last one. I think this is going to do it. I think his HP is going to be gone, but no, not throwing it all the way ahead, but he's going to find the AR shots regardless. So Ghosty and Jamif falling to, you know, he actually still has 2 more stink bombs right here. That's crazy.
And don't forget, these get more valuable as the circle closes, right? Because remember, this is the space of, or I guess the stink cloud is a little bit bigger than a 1x1. So as that circle continues to close, you can really be putting some people in really tough spots, especially when you're basically just saying, the entire play space you're in right now, boom, I have dealt it, you're smelling it.
Classic Zekeism right there. He always gets the last laugh. But moving into the rest of this game right now, it's Zeke and Narcos on high ground.
You know, I really got to reach out to Zeke here because we have the same name, and every time Sundown is on broadcast and says his name, I look and I'm like, wait, did you say my name? Does he need me? Oh, never mind. It's just Zeke and Narcos. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, always on high ground, always winning games, something that Zeke is not familiar with.
Dang it, I was going to make the joke. You beat me to the punch.
But Yarkos and Zeke are certainly familiar with it as they take high ground and hold it against Kaspersa, who tried to take it from them. Yarkos is qualified in solos, not just yet in duos, but we'll see here if the Polish duo can do it, can qualify for New York. They're at 57 right now. We saw a couple of players that were ahead of them in terms of points in this game.
Right.
So everything matters. Remember, every interaction counts. I think he has another opportunity here to knock down, but no, they're not going to take it. They're going to decide time to back off. But as that branches out more and more, hold on, because Hadkos falls directly into somebody's box, and I think that's going to be the end. Yes, he falls to the zone because that player takes advantage of the, you know, distraction that he had up on high ground and knocks him out from below.
Yeah.
Now it's Frenzy and Ads that I was just kind of referencing in terms of their points. At 66, they take the high ground, Zeke.
Look at this, 67 points now. They're trying. Now, don't forget, we saw, again, 77 is the highest we've seen so far. They're 10 points in striking distance, and that's if that duo was in the #1 spot. So you've got to think, again, these guys are contesting for top 5. We've seen teams literally sit here and trade places, and if they hit top 15, this will be huge. Lestream, Vato, and Skite are in this game, Bala.
That is huge. And they're at 77 as well,
so
as we see and update their scores. So just like you're talking about, 77 is that point to beat. Right now, they're going to find another. The cone slide comes in. It's Takeoffs again who goes down, and his teammate Andretta falls to Tux, who is with Borwin. We saw them win the game earlier.
And look, dude, they jump up to 81 points. They hit the top 15. Those first 3 points are so crucial. Look, they're just waiting it out, right? This lobby is going to continue to thin itself out. Zeke, my boy, unfortunately gets picked up in another round of placements. 83, Bala. 83. They could very well clutch this up and just be the point leaders.
This could be it. Skite and Vato could finally, after 10 weeks of trying, after 4 duos competitions, all those weekends finally paying off, possibly here for Skite and Vato. We've seen this exact situation play out in that game that they got all the way towards the top 5 last time, with a lot of eliminations racking up as well. They're playing slow, and they're making sure that they're going to get that ticket to New York.
And if you watch in the top left, Vato, unfortunately, he gets traded out. He's gone down, and he gets picked up by FaZe, Vorwin. And right before that, I was going to say Mongrel gets picked up. Skite's dropped down to 18 HP. In his mind, he's probably thinking, this is his moment to shine in the sun, down to 8 HP. He has to make something happen. Even just hitting top 5 would make the difference right now, Bala.
And I don't even think all these builds are his. You could see as soon as he got into the next box, he frantically makes... No! But it's Tux who took out Vato earlier. He uses the stink bomb at the opportune moment and takes out a few more. That's 7 eliminations total. Vorwin's still up, though, so he still has an opportunity to make this work.
Oh, man, eliminated 6 there, just on the cusp, but it's okay. Again, that's now the highest point value we've seen. Even evade ads, look at this, 75 points right now. These numbers are getting out of control. Vorwin down on the lowest ground. He's going to be dropped.
He's got to break through metal, though.
He's got to find Sensei. Look up. He's got to get Sensei. He's going to drop down in front. No. He does not get the trade out. Ads right now has the health advantage. Frenzy and Sensei, look at them both. They're so hurt that the storm is continuing to tick them out, and it is not enough. It's Ads and Frenzy get the victory royale.
Man, Zeke, we're getting 79 points.
I can't
and
do
that
this.
could be 80 because I know that elimination counter is slow to update towards the end of these replays. It could be enough, and that could even be possibly their last game, or they could have gotten one more in before these queues. I mean, Zeke, this is coming straight down to the wire here in Europe.
Oh my goodness, man. Of course it would be like this for the final week. It's been like this every, periodically we've seen moments like this where we've seen players edged out at the very end.
And I gotta, Vato and Skite, man.
Yes.
Out in 6th place in that game, not quite making it to 5th place. That could come back to bite them in a terrible fashion. It could be heartbreaking for them, but we go ahead and catch up with them later in the standings. We'll see where they all end up. Here, Thomas and Kluja finding 1 elimination this game, and again, we're looking at the point ranges. 77 was that, but as we saw that last game, they pushed over that 77.
So don't forget, they're at 83 points when we last saw them. So right now, if you're looking at Thomas and his duo partner, Kluja, they could very well contest that 83 points that we saw, right? It's only a difference of 6 points. That's making it into top 10. They're at, top 5. With a few eliminations sprinkled in there, man, I do not want to see Skite and Vato get edged out again. They've come so close so many times. This has got to be their week, and you've got to think they're thinking the same thing, right? They're like, it's all come down. We've put everything on the line. We're playing our hearts out. This is our week to qualify. Just keep your head up and keep positive.
And let's not forget about Tux and Vorwin there in that last game as well. Contesting with Skite and Vato, actually taking them out.
Right.
First, Vato ends up getting split, and Tux takes advantage of that. And then the stink bomb coming in at the perfect moment. Skite not having any white heels. We talked about it earlier. So ending up edging them into that top 5 and finding some eliminations on the way, too.
Probably kicking themselves, thinking if we had made that top 5, it would have just helped ensure that our placements were very high. But right now, the current game, Brolof here and his duo partner Artemis Swede, they're in top 15. Don't forget that first round of placement points is great, but they're at the 39 threshold. They've got to make more happen. And don't forget Thomas and Kluja, they're sitting on 77 if I remember correctly. The question would be, who else is in this lobby? What other big names can we scout out?
It's not just big names, but anybody who's up at the top of the leaderboards right now, because as far as I'm concerned, Thomas and Kluja are the subjects of this game as far as we've seen so far. Obviously, everybody else getting the action. Berloof here, we've already seen them pick up 1. They picked up another knock. Are they going to be able to find the elimination here? And they're holding them in zone. They're going to actually probably get this. Definitely the knock is going to be confirmed.
Oh, he should have just taken the shots with the AR. He's going to get blue damage numbers over. Here we go. Isla there gets picked up, but Oh, man, this is coming down to the wire. This 14 number hasn't quite changed. Top 10 is the next threshold.
Well, they get knocked out.
Oh, they're coming down. They got to start building down. Did they drop?
Probably just a little bit of damage there, or, you know, started using the glider redeploys. Yes, the rift comes out, actually, for Berloof, but I don't think he took his teammate Sweet with him, no. You see only a little bit of white HP missing, so probably maybe used a shadow bomb or maybe a flint knock or something to save himself from taking the damage, but was on high ground. He's looking to see, maybe I'm going to make a play right now. No, he's going to decide I want to join my teammate, and Sweet has a perfect hold for him as he edits him down through it. It's Thomas and Kluja on high ground, by the way.
Yeah, this is a game. They need to close this game out, right? Like,
yes.
We know for a fact 83, again, in case you just tuned in, that was the highest threshold we've seen for points. Kluja and Thomas, they were at 77 not that long ago. They're about to hit top 10, which is another round of placement points on top of any eliminations they've picked up along the way. Down below, though, Sweet and Artemis, Sweet and Berloof, I hope I'm saying that correctly. They're making things happen, right? They've got the 6 eliminations. They want to try and rack up as many as possible, but they are so far behind right now.
And I've got to criticize the use of that second shadow bomb there instead of getting into the box. Maybe a misclick or something, because now he doesn't have the rotation to stay with his teammate Berloof, who does have one more shadow bomb remaining. They're going to have to path in and walk it in.
Right now, again, top 10 is another round of placement points. Everything is going to slow down. Santo is single, unfortunately picked off right there at the edge, missing out on those points. I want to go back up top, right? I want to see what's going on with Kluja. I want to see their points right now. Berloof, Sweet, he's dropped down to nothing. Anyone could accidentally sneeze in his direction and he could get picked off. Someone finds it. It's Detox who's going to be picked off in the crossfire there. Now Sweet, again, he's ticking. It must be within a stink bomb, and he gets traded out. Berloof does. But Sweet, look, his HP jumps up, so he must have found elimination.
A second before, if that player doesn't come from behind, he actually gets the siphon and probably survives there.
Yep.
So everything coming down to these milliseconds decision. I still haven't seen Thomas. Yes, they finally got one elimination from up on high ground. Sweet starting to use that campfire to its full effectiveness here as the zone starts to go back in the other direction. 5 duos remaining, 7 total players.
Oh, and Thomas gets picked up. That puts Artemis Sweet in the top 5, another round of placement points. So does that mean, that must mean they both have been eliminated? Yes, they are both gone. Right now on the high ground, you've got a player, and everyone else is super huddled together, because don't forget, this play space is just shrinking right now. Stir6, his dual partner Twix, is alive. They find Sweet, who gets picked off.
I love the placement of that trap, though, and the quick reaction from Sweet to actually edit his cone in a certain way so he can make it out unscathed, but still, 4 duos remaining. 1 player drops behind. They're all the same skin for some reason, and Sty6 is going to be able to find him easily. So that duo down on low ground by themselves right now against 2 more players, Julian and Oxy right here.
And down below, Styrix and Twix are the only duo left. They immediately shut down Oxy. They're like, 1 player's pushing us, just let's cooperate, let's shut this guy down, and now they're in a 2v1. Gooden here is going to have the fight of his life, and he's on the 64 points. We've seen a lot of players hovering in that range. This could make the difference if he can find both of these eliminations and the victory royale. 5 points could make the difference. He gets cracked, Bala, down to 23, 13. Oh my God! Oh my God! That was the sickest split knock I've ever seen!
That could have been the sickest split knock I've ever seen, because if he got that elimination and landed, he could have gotten the siphon and all of a sudden forced this into a 1v1 with HP advantage. But unfortunately going to go out into the zone, not able to control himself with the flint knock. Just like excitement there from that play.
I'm melting in my chair. I'm just slowly sliding down. I'm trying to collect myself, Fortnite fan, but it's not working right now. Next game, 62 players, 34 duos, still sliding down. 85 points from Rojo and Wolfies? Okay, guys. All right, listen.
So they were slowing down when we last took a look at the standings when I was up there with you, Zeke. They were slowing down. They fell out of that first place. They're starting to creep down to that 6th, the 7th. We were talking about whether their games have been played yet, but climbing back in a strong fashion here. They've got 1 more game, and at 85 points, if they make this a big one, they could break 100 and almost guarantee themselves a spot to New York.
They have shifted gears, shifted mindset, and have said, we need to punch our tickets. We need to be on the stage of the World Cup Finals in New York City right now. They've got 3 eliminations between them. Don't forget, top 15 is the round of placement points. They are halfway there. They've got to play this smart. They've got to find these few eliminations, like this one player roaming around. Oh my God! Elite gets picked off, another elimination heading their way. And look at this, they're just looking to confirm eliminations, beam players as they can while being as safe as possible, because look at all the resources they've got available to them. Shadow bombs, chug splashes, the combat, minis, they've got it all. They're looking to make this, Bala.
It's kind of crazy. I actually thought that he had an infantry rifle in his hands, but no, it's actually a heavy AR, which you don't see used too often anymore because of the effectiveness of that infantry rifle at long range, but you can't. You got to take what you get, and maybe he even prefers the heavy AR, because it does have, you know, a bigger clip in it.
Yeah.
Not doing quite as much damage, but up in the top left right now, we're not only looking at the thresholds reaching top 25, but Mr. Savage goes down in this game. Not too consequential because he's already qualified for New York, but that's another hint that they're probably not going to be making it up there and taking those top 4 spots.
That's right. Don't forget they've qualified, which means right now they're playing for money, which is great. So you got to think they're trying to find eliminations. Den Magic Pulse, by the way, someone tweeted at us. That means the magical sausage. You're welcome. The more you know. More shots coming out here from Ollie is cracked. He did not manage to crack that player's shields, but the shots were pretty on point, and he's, of course, 761 above the damage threshold for the Storm. There, Motor, for just a brief moment, peeks out, and Ollie finds and secures it.
I think he might have also hit Motor's teammate, Ferox.
I believe he did.
As he jumped out of that box, I'm looking at Wolfies and Rojo right now, carpeting their way towards the zone. They're going to go ahead and decide to launch pad. They use that, you know, tarp for a second just to get ahead of everybody else, make sure they're not going to, you know, hit their heads and waste the launch pad effectively. But here, Benji using those chug splashes to immediately get back to max health, starting his turtle forward.
And the fish out of water here. I mean, the duel of these, you know, we kind of, it's funny that you said we may not see them in top 10, but look at the point thresholds.
I know.
They said, look, Bala, we're savage. We're Benji Fishy, bro. Don't put us out. By the way, 4 rounds in the AR, only 4.
And Zeke finds actually 2 players who didn't edit their box close. He's going to take out Black. And his teammate as well, Stoico, going down, and that's probably the end of their run in the World Cup.
Benji literally just said, Zeke, I don't care about these 4 AR rounds. Watch me pick up the double, and now I'm sitting on 300. Check me again, bro. I'm a fish out of water. I can breathe in fresh air. That was, in case you didn't see that, that was a thing at the summer block party, which made me laugh, by the way. Go back and watch those little interstitials. They're fantastic. That's what I was referencing. But 86 points over on Wolfsies and Rojo.
Yeah, and he's actually in trouble here as the Shadow Bomb. This player actually doesn't realize, though, he's going to take a nice shot onto Mawaka, sorry. As Wolfie's making his way forward, Rojo is split, but we've seen this situation before. Again, reaching towards that 90 points right now. One more elimination is going to do it, but Rojo goes down, and it's all up to Wolfie's right now.
All right, here we go. So Rojo gets picked up. But now, look, they've just hit that 90-point threshold. So let's think about this, right? If Wolfies could clutch it up by himself, he'd have to at least get the Victory Royale, which is another 7 points, and at least 3 eliminations. There's still 10 players. It's doable.
To get 100, is that what you're
to break the triple digits. Yeah, I want to see the 100. I want to see it because you know they want to see it too.
I mean, based on what scores I'm seeing already spread out throughout the map and the games that we've seen, I think he's already probably clinched it. But you know, he's thinking, I have to perform the best I have ever done here. I have to win this game if I want to make it, because I don't have high ground. I don't have a teammate. I've got to do everything. I've got to take all this responsibility on my shoulder, all the pressure from all 10 weeks, and do it right now, Zeke.
That's right. And you got to think they're probably saying, like, just imagine this was you on the stage of the World Cup Finals, right? Imagine you're in that moment. Take everything, all the practice, the long hours you put and dedicated to this game, and focus it and hone it in right now. Wolfies, he's got 3 eliminations. Again, 94 points. If he could find 3 more eliminations, it's not enough. Confetti trades him out and shuts him down in that moment. And now it's coming down to this. It's a 2v1.
Confetti and Toos It's kind of crazy because we started World Cup in week 1 in semifinals. Two's playing in solos, actually destroying the semifinals, and now here again, ending EU. Is he going to be able to pick up this win? It could propel them up to 71 points, but it's going to happen. Ollie goes down, almost makes a hero RPG play onto Confetti. My heart dropped for a second there, but that really could be, you know, a story from the start to the finish, Zeke.
Yeah. This is, I think the only thing to do, I'm stressing out of my mind, but for now, let's send it into Pookie. She's in the studio. She's going to break down what's going on.
Thank you so much, Zeke. You know what? Go get yourself a sandwich. Go get a drink of water. Calm down. I was over there. You were stressing out for sure. I am joined here with Sundown. Those games are absolutely incredible. You always putting on a show. Never disappointing. Speaking of that, don't want to bring up who's going to be disappointed or excited, but we got to look at the standings.
The final standings, the last 4 coming out of Europe. It's been so absurdly competitive, and let's take a look. Punch some tickets going through. Wolfies and Rojo taking the first spot. Stompy to Shinkin, Benji Fishy, and Mr. Savage don't know how to share. They're still hanging out. Had already qualified, so that means it shifts down, and we got Skype, Invato, Vorin, and Tux, and then Klusha in Singularities. Thomas HD taking up the spots, 1 point separating the difference, going through there. Saw it going down. I mean, this is nuts. So many players who we've seen. Klusha getting the double qualification going through. Shinkin and Stompy not knowing how to stay off of the top. Huge runs from Sky and Vato, as well as Vorin and Tux. And then Wolfies and Rojo just dominating at the start of the day, kind of falling off, and everyone was saying, oh, can they stay up there? A huge last-minute surge, $20,000, a trip to New York City, Pooks. That's massive.
Congratulations to everyone who has qualified for World Cup Finals in New York in July. I cannot wait to meet all of you, but we have some visits to get down to, Sundown.
Time to punch some tickets, right?
Yeah, we got to punch those tickets.
All right, let's get the top one right there. Congratulations, Wolfies and Rojo.
We got Skyte and Vado coming out of the stream. Am I doing this one?
Yeah, you can get that one as well. Split it up 2 and 2, and then get Vorin and Tux. Such a great job from Tux there. We saw a number of his plays. Vorin as well, clutching up in the end, and then rounding it out. Klusha, by the way, in Singularity. Thomas HD. Congratulations, all of you played so incredibly well. It was a great day to round it out. But again, hey, first of all, to even get to Sunday in Europe, it took 67 points in a victory royale. Like, if you were playing on Sunday, you're among the best of the best there, and just because your name isn't up here doesn't mean you're done. There's always going to be more to play for. There's always more there. And speaking of always more competitive Fortnite stuff, we recently actually just launched our own dedicated Twitter to all things competitive Fortnite. You know, let's just throw it on up there. Go ahead, give it a follow as well. It's twitter.com/FN competitive, and I mean, there's always a way to get involved. We're going to be highlighting plays, we'll be doing breakdowns, we'll be asking you who your favorite players are up there, so keep an eye on that. And then let's also see what is up on the social wall and what players had to say up there. Boom, right on up there, and then everyone's saying welcome to Twitter on there. Let's go. People being excited about it, and look at that. I love the Sharks just slamming the like and the retweet button.
Nice. I love that. Cutest graphic I've seen on this wall thus far. Can we just talk about Evade Orange's tweet for a second? The only Twitter I need. Could not have said it better myself.
Well, he needs his own there to interact with it as well.
That's
but
true.
I mean, just
you know, potato, potato. It is what it is. But yeah, guys, if you're not following this Twitter already, please go and give it a follow. I'm following it. I know Sundown is. Tweet to us on there. We'll be replying to stuff all day today. But you know what? I feel as though, you know, we've seen a lot of games coming out of Europe today. You know, we've seen a lot of people, you know, punch their tickets. Congratulations to everybody so far. I cannot personally wait to get into the next set of games. So before we do that, we are going to go to a quick break. Do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll have more Fortnite action.
Let's slide out to the lobby. Let's slide out to the lobby. Let's slide out to the lobby to get your spots and nuts. Burgers from dirt to munch. Tacos Royale with brunch. Red juices a tasty treat for Lil Whip, Peely, and Pizza Pete. Let's slide out to the lobby to get your squad some numbs. Let's slide out to the lobby to get your squad some love.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Sundown here, and today we are going to talk about the Tactical Assault Rifle and its addition to competitive play.
The Tactical Assault Rifle is probably one of the best additions to the game. It's a long-range weapon where you could save AR ammo if you have a drum gun.
Small bullet you can find everywhere, so it's a good weapon.
The Tactical AR is an uncommon, epic, and legendary weapon that utilizes light ammunition and has a high rate of fire. It does 22, 23, or 24 damage depending on rarity, has a pretty fast first shot accuracy timer, and a dope reloading animation. I mean, come on. Just look at it. We've seen a lot of competitive players opt into using the Tactical Assault Rifle over the course of the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the players who qualified for the finals and get their thoughts on the TAC AR's addition to the game.
It's really good. Like really good. Once you get to endgame scenarios like 5th zone and beyond, it absolutely beams. It's very viable in meta right now. Everybody's been using it.
I like it because you could actually sneak up on someone. It has this low sound, so it's hard to hear.
It has its viability due to its first shot accuracy that can make it really strong, and the fall off damage isn't as strong as it was for the silent SMG, which got vaulted.
I reckon the gun's awesome for endgame because if you've got height, that gun can really get a lot of eliminations because it's like a laser, and people endgame tend to have less HP than they would towards the early and mid game. So I think it's really strong in situations.
Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on the Tactical Assault Rifle, and when do you like to use it? Send us your opinions using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and I'll see you on the battle bus, or maybe on the high ground with a TAC AR.
He's coming for the booty. Oh no. Gooey.
Alright, Fortnite fam. Did I beat you in rock, paper, scissors? Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. I probably did because I'm really good at it. It's the only thing I'm good at ever. But, guys, we are knee-deep in the World Cup finals. Qualifier here for duos. It is been unbelievable. The European action has not disappointed, but of course we're getting ready to hop into more games. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Oceania replays, because don't forget Oceania and Asia happened overnight. So we're going to also look at Asia replays as well. I guess I should have said both. And then we're going to take a live look into Brazil, see how things are going for them. I need 2 casters on deck. Let's get Pookie Face. Let's get Sundown. Let's get into these games.
Thank you so much, Zeke. I'm joined here by the amazing Pookie Face, who has a great talent at ignoring high fives.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, she literally looked right at the camera and then right at me, but as Zeke just said, Oceania and Asia wrapped up last night. I stayed up and watched some of the games. I know most people didn't, but they were incredible. The last spots were there, and let's hop in, give these guys a little coverage, and celebrate just how awesome at Fortnite they are. Now, a fun fact about both these guys, 7 matches played total. That was all they ended up running through. So they were able to get the maximum amount of points through each one of them, not needing all 10. And as we talked about with the breakaway esports duo of Serpent and Hype, averaging a placement of 2.67 across those 7 games. That is ridiculous.
That is extremely high. Do you know what other teams are sitting at in terms of averages like that?
I mean, you really don't typically will see placements like that in a 10-game run. Like in overall, like we've seen people being those consistent in like over the course of 10 games.
Right.
But like in that spree, I think the closest we've seen is the Twins out of Oshi, when they were playing more placement based and less aggro. I think they had one of the weeks up there where they were nearing 4, but sub 3 is. That's really, really, really good.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty incredible, like you said. And we see Hype just get the elimination on Pendragon, LOL there, just utilizing his edits there to quickly peek out, make sure that he's not leaving himself too exposed. Take a look at his partner, Serpent, who has got his own agenda of what he's doing over here. Looks like he's doing the same thing, but on the opposite side. So these guys just applying pressure all over the map.
Yeah, and one thing to note, it is a much sparser circle when you're in those very late games in terms of Oceania. Some players opting to play aggro, trying to get their games out there, will just go full send and try and burn through a couple towards the end to get into another one. But if you have good game management or the ability to just play consistently and ride it out, you can play this game all the way to conclusion and maybe snag what might be a slightly easier victory route for you if you're playing passive and defensive, which Serpent and Hype seem to have been doing so here with, I want to say, only 6 elims, but in comparison to the rest of the lobby, it's not a ton. It's good.
No, for sure. And to your point, kind of what you said about knowing, where your opponents are. Keep in mind that there's only 12 players left on this map right now, and only 7 duos remain. Make that 11 and 6. I spoke way too soon. Serpent secures another elimination there on Bray. But in terms of final circles, Sundown, this is not something that we see very often in these late games.
No, and it makes for interesting play because people can be more calculated, but normally you don't get as much room to operate. So now all of a sudden, Zank being in this 1-by-1 by himself, if certain Hype want to go pinch him, they absolutely will. They know this is a 2v1, they know there's no one else here, but Zank is now trying to get whatever opportunity he can to free up shots, knowing that the next elim that goes down is the top 5, and every single point matters, even if not for qualification, then for the prize money, with the prize pool being doubled in weeks 9 and 10.
Yeah, and Zank making that quick decision to just use the launch pad, kind of get out of there. He saw that there were players rushing at him, decided to go up, get the high ground, which does end up working out for him because he lays down a 35 and a 71 shot on opponents down below. Breaks a baller, which is going to be bad news for that player. He isn't going to have that additional protection anymore. But he is just trying to fire shots, methodically go through and see if he can actually get any kind of knocks or eliminations here to get that siphon, because he doesn't actually have any kind of healing, and he does take out Jimmy, so that is certainly going to help him for any kind of future eliminations or any kind of engagements here.
Yeah, and it got him into the top 5, and Goobaz actually ended up going down as well, so just getting the tags on the end of the storm as rotation does go up the mountain, the verticality being the difference there. Elimination does go over. That was the knock we had just talked about. While Replace goes through, he edits down, has nothing to catch himself, but luckily was on the edge of it. But Hype is relentless on the high ground, and now they're going to start working the top down. When we started on board with them, they had 4 elims, now worked it all the way up to 8. There is 9 and 10, and they're looking to close this match out, and this is where every point matters. Getting the wall replaced, and Slaya goes down. Well done from Hype and Serpent. 11 elims in the victory royale.
Well done from them indeed. Now, unfortunate to see Slayo go down. I know that he is a favorite from a lot of people, but you know what? Second place, not too bad, Sundown.
No, it was a good effort, but like you said, once kind of those two get rolling, when they have the momentum, they are able to just run with it. We've seen it before in the semifinals, and when they finally converted it over, sometimes that's all it takes. If you're able to put the pieces together on the right day in the finals, that's what ends up mattering. Now we're on board here with Surf Junkie and Evanix.
And take a look at their loadout. They have right now 2 Rift to Goes, 2 Shadow Bombs. I'd be interested to see if they've split the Shadow Bombs. Duos will typically do that, you know, give 2 and 2 so each partner has some kind of mobility in their inventory. They do only take up 1 slot, and you can carry a whole bunch of them. So we've seen time and time again players utilizing those to make rotations, make sure they're safe heading into the next zone, and they are going to actually opt to Rift out there so that they can make that early rotation. They did have quite a long way to go, but they are going to look to see if they can possibly sneak on some high ground here.
Yeah, the thing is there, well, it seems like it is a little bit of an early rift. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, majority of the players were in their path in order to get to the rotation. So when you have 2 rifts and 2 extra shadow bombs as well as a ton of the shields, you can afford to be a little more aggro there, and they're actually able to now get priority on the zone and pick up an elim as well. But can they get the mats and then disengage out with whatever upgrades they so desire?
Again, Surf Junkie taking a lot of damage there, so he is going to have to really focus on getting healed up before they, you know, make the next rotation or before they take another engagement, because you certainly do not want your duo's partner going down or falling to anyone at this stage of the game. That certainly can spell disaster. We are going to take a look here at Serpent and Hype. We saw a little bit of their gameplay in the last game. They look as though they're playing very, very well together today. And you know, let's just see what they can pull out right now.
Yeah, so these were actually, the last game we watched was their second to last game, and this was their final game of the evening. So that's kind of why in the games that they're in the lobby, is a lot of players trying to get through and use the last games, but certainly Hype think that's fine. They're playing for a victory royale, and right now, inside the first placement threshold, already on 7 elims for this match. That's 10 points so far coming out from this game. That's what we talk about when we say maximizing efficiency in every single one of your lobbies. If you're making it into the final placement threshold, getting a couple of those victory royales and getting elims as well, no, it makes it very difficult for everyone else in the lobby to even keep pace.
Yeah, and you know, that we've seen time and time again has worked out for so many players, you know. Really just being very aggressive, just going full send. It doesn't matter what game you're in, that can always go well. He does get the knockdown on oh my gosh, so funky and
Yo guys, ik ga flat. Dat was cool om naar de online opens te kijken. Ik hoop dat jullie ook genoten hebben. En dan zie ik jullie bij de volgende stream. Bye bye.